All right, so we are live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to an amazing Facebook Live session here on America House page. My name is Nata Andreev. I'm the American Spaces Coordinator, and today we will do things a little bit different on this platform because usually you have our colleague Margareta, the one who is introducing the topics, introducing the speakers, but we switched roles a little bit. And the reason that we did that is because America House Chisinau is organizing an amazing contest. And that's why we gathered everybody here today to talk about the contest. And then at the end, we have American Spaces volunteers who will present some examples of letters that change the world. Margareta, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us a few words about the contest.
So, hello everyone. My name is Margareta Kalugia. I am the program manager at America House Chisinau, and I am so glad to be part of this session. Thank you, Nata, for inviting me. I would like to tell you about the contest America House Chisinau is organizing. The title of our contest is Letter to Your 2023 Self. The deadline for this contest is January 15. So in this session today, we will discuss about the letters that changed the world, and it is important to read and get inspired by great personalities that actually changed the world. But is equally important to invest in ourselves, to write letters to ourselves, and to write letters that can keep us accountable in accomplishing our projects and goals. So we can change the world by changing ourselves at an individual level first. So about the contest, to take part in the contest, you have to be a high school student.
All
So
right.
you have to write a letter to your future self 1 year from now. So the letter doesn't have to be too long. It should be creative and answer questions such as, how do you envision yourself? How do you wish to accomplish? What do you want to experience, visit, learn? Maybe about the people who are around you, how they have influenced or impacted your life to become your future self. So if you want to win the contest, you have to be explicit in your writing, to cite your habits, passions, hobbies, even feelings. So you can write about your projects, achievements, maybe failures, or unexpected things that have happened to you. So I suggest you write the letter in a Word document first, and then copy paste it on the futureme.org website. So there, in the your email address case, insert the America House email, americahousemg, gmail.com, and with a delivery date before the 15th of January. Of course, it can be 15th of January, but try to do it before. So our evaluation criteria for this contest is your English level. Make sure it is well structured, the grammar is correct, your vocabulary is advanced, and of course it is creativity and originality. So the winner will be selected according to the evaluation criteria, and it will be announced on the January 23rd. And the winner will get a prize on behalf of America House, and everybody else who participated will get a digital certificate for participation. So
That is amazing. I say if you're a high school student and you're looking for opportunities to shine bright when it comes to English language writing, then definitely you should not miss this contest. What inspired America House Chisinau to come up with such a contest?
Well, it's the beginning of the year. Everybody is setting their goals for this year, and we want to inspire people to keep them motivated and accountable for their projects and goals.
That is actually really cool. In case you are wondering what the requirements are, once again, please visit America House Chisinau social media, Facebook and Instagram. My colleagues, I know for sure, prepared a specific post with specific information. So, in case you want to review once again before submitting the letter, then feel free to do this. Visit our social media. You'll find there all the information that you need. But it's basically you write a letter, you copy paste it on the website called futureme.org. In the sender part, you write the America House Gmail address, and then the America House Chisinau team will get together, read the letters, and announce the winner of this contest on
On the
January 24th.
23rd, yes.
Yes, that is great. All right. So, just as I told you at the beginning, we also have with us volunteers at American Spaces Moldova. There is a few of them. And what they will do, just to give you a little inspiration before you write this letter and to understand the importance of letters today, they will talk about letters that change the world. All right. So, Margareta, I know you'll stick around in the background in the studio. You'll still be with us, but let's welcome our great volunteers on the platform. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. How is everybody doing?
Great.
Great, really.
Great. Are you nervous? Are you not? What is happening?
It's
Well,
the
it's
beginning
better
of the
than
year.
it's better than standing in front of a real life people. So
Audience, right? I
audience, yeah.
usually tell all the volunteers that whenever you have a Facebook Live session, just imagine that it's the four of us. And here is Anastasia as well. She joined us. And let's see what letters you prepared for us today. I think we will start with Damian.
All right. Let me share screen.
All right. And while Damian is sharing the screen, all right, here it is.
Well, let me first introduce myself. I'm Damian, a volunteer at American House Chisinau. I'm a student now. I choose that letter, basically that won the American Revolution, because we studied that topic at school, so I know a bit about it. Uh,
Oh, all right. So it's safe to admit that history is one of your favorite subjects in school.
yeah.
All right. All right. So tell us about the letter that won the American Revolution.
Well, before that, we need to understand the historical context that made that letter to exist in a way. Firstly, we know that in 1775, uh, the colonies started to a war against Great Britain, so they can get their independence. But as we know, Great Britain has economical, army and navy advantage. Um, so during those 2 years of war, they captured a really important strategical point. It's New York City port. So none of the military scouts could get close enough to New York to gather information so it could be used. Uh, that way, George Washington, who was the commander of the army at that moment, uh, believed that he could benefit from the assistance of a spy in the city to report of what was going on behind the enemy lines. Uh, that way, uh, uh, he got a volunteer named Nathan Hale, who was a very young soldier without any experience. So, as the title say in the presentation, he got hanged after only 2 weeks of being in New York. He got caught really fast and ended up being
Yeah, let's
hanged.
just say he was a very unexperienced soldier at that time.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
experience that George Washington had with this volunteer gave him the idea that he needs an organization, someone well prepared to get behind the enemy lines. So he messaged or sent a letter to Nathaniel Sackett and offered him $50 a month to develop a network of spies in New York City. Well, even though $50 it doesn't seem like a lot of money now, it was a
Not
lot.
now, but back in the
Na-
days.
yeah, back in the days, $50 is like were worth a lot, like a lot. You could buy, I don't know, a house, a small house somewhere. Um, that way, Sackett made that organization called Culper Spy Ring, uh, but he didn't really manage to get
Mhm.
a lot of information or to make any progress towards gathering information. Uh, a lot of his, let's say, students or soldiers who attempted this ring failed.
Mhm.
But this is where Benjamin Tolmade uh, steps in. Basically, Benjamin Tolmade, during 3 years of duty, was never caught, and he continuously gathered information about the next move of the enemy, in that case, Great Britain. So in 1781, they managed to win the war for the independence that we all know, for freedom and so on. Now let's get through some interesting facts how
Mhm.
they managed to get through that. First of all, they were hiding secret messages in hollow feather quills. It's like that tiny
Yes.
space of a feather they where they would hide small letters for George Washington, and it was not like you put the feather in a pocket. It was like crates and crates of feather, and between all this mess, somewhere was one or two of that letters which were hidden in that tiny space of a feather. So it was really hard to someone to find a
Mhm.
feather in a crate, in a big crate of feather.
Other materials.
Oh, yeah, something like
Mhm.
that. Besides that, they had a numerical dictionary called Agent 711. Well, basically, they had over 700 words in that dictionary replaced with numbers. So the letters were, besides being very well hidden, they were very well coded or uh,
Encrypted.
encrypted. Yeah. So they made sure that they have a team that we can trust. They had a shop owner inside New York who was gathering information, a traveling trader who smuggled it out of the city, and a boat captain who delivered it to Washington's camp. Like a whole system of soldiers who gathered information and delivered it to George Washington. Now let's end with a state that George Washington did not really outfight the British. He simply outspied them. It's a really interesting how none of the culprit spies were ever caught, and this organization existence wasn't discovered until 19th. So it was really well classified in a way, so nobody could even guess what's going on in that commander camp. That's it. That's the leader who won the American Revolution against Great Britain.
All right. Thank you, Damian, so much. That was a very interesting history lesson. And actually, it is amazing sometimes to go back to understand how things really work, because right now everything is so digitalized and everything is so in code. But here we are, like experiencing basically. The first way that people communicated and collected information. So that is very interesting. All right. So I want to invite next on the screen Loredana. Hi, Loredana.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody. My name is Loredana. I am a volunteer of American Corner Ungain. I am a high student in Ungain. And today I want to present an interesting letter about the letter that influenced the civil rights movement. This letter had and will have a remarkable impact in our history, because this letter introduced the civil rights in our day and some duty of people in this context. And today I want to present this letter and why this letter was written.
All right.
This letter was written in April 16 in 1963 from Martin Luther King to the fellow clergy. It is a group of people, of policemen, of some science people, how Ruby Milton Graham, or Methodic Bishop Nell. And this letter was a great research for this topic, who had a remarkable impact in our history. Who was Martin Luther King? It was an American Baptist minister and activist who became the most visible spokesman and leader in the American civil rights movement from 1955. He wrote this letter because he was arrested by police in a protest in a protest, and it was written in 1963 when Martin was jailed in Birmingham, Alabama, from participating in a march without a permit.
Mm-hmm.
He was a Baptist, and this time was this illegal that the black people wasn't invited in this event.
All right.
The next slide, please.
Mm-hmm.
The most important phrase in this letter was that Martin Luther said that it is the duty of people to break unjust laws. It seems that what Adolf Hitler made in Germany was very illegal, and some of this duty was legal. The king used whatever materials he could, including the margins of newspapers and paper provided by his lawyer, and spent the week he was looked up formulating an eloquent and a coherent letter. he hadn't a response and an answer for this letter, but he included this letter from the introduced the civil code in our history. This letter of Martin Luther was published in the Atlantic as well as King's own book in 1965, Why We Can't Wait. His theme about this letter was injustice anywhere is the threat to the justice everywhere. Why this letter was so important? Was important because was an introduction of civil code and a really crying for activists during a crucial period in history, and as documentation of the movement itself. And it was named, the document is now considered a classic work of protest lecture. That was
all right. Thank you so much, Loredana, for the presentation. I want to also remind everyone that on January 17, it's the world, especially the United States, is celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So it was an amazing opportunity for people to find more about his legacy, find more about what he did for peacefully protesting during the civil rights movement. I'm sure all the American Spaces will prepare different posts on our social media so you can find more about Martin Luther King and what he actually did and what is his legacy in the civil rights movement. All right. Before we go to Angelina, and Angelina is preparing her screen, I want to ask you, Loredana, why from the list of letters that changed the world do you chose specifically this letter?
Because nowadays we are in a different politic and a different code. Because in history, in past, where this duty of people, these works were very different, and this term is how I said, introduction of Code Civil that changed our vision.
All right. Thank you so much, Loredana. You stick around in the studio, and I am inviting on the screen Angelina. Hi, Angelina.
Hello everyone. My name is Angelina and I'm American Spaces volunteer, but obviously at America House Chisinau. So today I'm presenting a very interesting letter, the letter from a mother that helped give women the right to vote. And actually it happened on August 19th, 1920. And today I'm going to present it. So I'm going to the next slide. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes. We do hear
Okay,
you,
thanks.
and we see the screen.
Because I don't hear any feedback.
Yeah.
So, okay, this letter was from Feb and Swinger Byrne to her son, Harry Thomas Byrne. And actually, this letter helped women to give a chance to vote with like equal rights with men. And I'm going to explain to you how this happened. And we really need to know how it happened, because now I'm standing on equal right, and it is a very important topic for all. So let's go. So I'll start with a presentation of Feb and Swinger Byrne. She was a college-educated teacher. She really had 2 degrees, like in 2 different universities, which was really unusual for women of her days. She was an activist also, and she was Harry Thomas Byrne's mother and a woman who helped to change the world. And we really need to thank her, because she did a really good thing. Harry Thomas Byrne, he was a Republican member of the Tennessee General Assembly for Mack County, Tennessee. He was the youngest member of the state legislature. He was elected when he was just 22. It is early young age. And he is remembered for action taken to ratify the 19th Amendment during his first term in the legislature. He helped just women, but thanks also to his mother. So what actually happened? By the 1920, the proposed 19th Amendment needed just one more state to ratify, and it is actually called the War of the Roses. And do you see the red and the yellow rose here? I'll just explain why it is the symbol of this letter. Because supporters of suffrage wore yellow roses, while the anti-suffragists wore red roses. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. What was in the letter? So Phoebe and Swinger Byrne wrote she asked her son to vote for suffrage because she was an activist, and just interesting fact that her son actually wore the red rose, and it was really sad for her, and just he was anti-suffragist. But then he found a letter in the jacket from his mom, and it changed his opinion. And actually, at the second term, he just wore the yellow rose, and it surprised everyone. And Phoebe wrote the votes for suffrage, don't keep them in doubt. Like she didn't like the speeches, but and she didn't like the thing that her son was just standing, and she didn't notice anything, just any speech from him. So that's why she wrote the letter. And while Byrne agreed with the anti-suffragists at first, he had one important reason to consider switching sides. It was a letter from his mom. And after, when he found this letter and the Ninth Amendment was ratified, actually, he said that I knew that a mother's advice is always safest for a boy to follow, and my mother wanted me to vote for ratification. So it was actually ratified, and it was the 36th state that actually ratified it. So it was like national now for the USA. Just this is the point, and the importance of this letter was the Ninth Amendment guaranteed the women throughout the United States would have the right to vote on equal terms with men. So that's why it is a really important topic. Yeah. And we need to know this because this what actually happened in the USA. Yeah. I don't hear you.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was actually preparing Anastasia's presentation, and I wanted to ask you, why did you choose this topic, this letter from the list?
Because I was thinking that I really think it is the beginning of equal rights and feminism in the USA. And there were a lot of protests, and these women and the men just want to vote from a man helped like the USA women. And it is a really important thing. I really think so. We need to know our history. Just that's why.
All right. Thank you so much, Angelina. I want to welcome on the screen Anastasia. I'll let her introduce herself and say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody, my name is Nastya. I'm a volunteer at America House Built. So I'm gonna speak about the letter that prompted Abraham Lincoln to grow a beard. It's a letter from an 11-year-old girl named Grace Bedell on October 15, 1860. So who was Abraham Lincoln? He was an American lawyer and statesman who served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Lincoln led the nation through the American Civil War and succeeded in preserving the Union, abolishing slavery, bolstering the federal government, and modernizing the USA economy. This letter, it was written in 1860, when Abraham Lincoln was the Republican candidate for president. He was also clean-shaven, a look in stark contrast to the image and the portrayals of a fully bearded president that would endure well past his president. But that letter changed something. So I got this part of the letter where Grace Bedell said that I have yet got your brothers, and part of them will vote for you anyway, and if you let your whiskers grow, I will try and get the rest of them to vote for you. You would look a great deal better, for your face is so thin. All the ladies would like whiskers, and they would tease their husbands to vote for you, and then you would be president. Also, on the way to his 1861 inauguration, he arranged to make a stop in Bedell's hometown of Westfield, New York, to let her know he had taken her advice to heart. Lincoln's new beard may have helped save his life. On his way to Washington for his inauguration on March 4th, 1861, Lincoln learned that a group of secessionists in Baltimore were plotting his assassination. The new plans required Lincoln to remain incognito while riding in public rail's car and switching between train stations to keep from being recognized. Lincoln chose a hat in a different style than what he usually wore and hunched over alter his notable height. His new beard may also have served to shield his identity. And I put a quote that he has a right to criticize who has a heart to help. I don't hear you.
Thank you so much, Anastasia, for this presentation. It is very interesting to find out parts of history that maybe are not included in the books, but are actually very curious and bring to life different moments that actually, it is kind of funny the way people would vote and write letters about in the past times. And right now, I would like to bring everybody back onto your screens, and just wanted to ask Margareta, what was your favorite letter from all the letters that were presented by our volunteers, and why?
I think the last one was my favorite. It was so unexpected to hear about Lincoln's beard. He's such a important personality in the United States. So to hear
Yes,
about this letter, it was like so funny, first of all. So yeah,
absolutely.
it surprised me. So that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah. All right. So please, everybody, don't forget that America House Chisinau is organizing this absolutely great contest called "Letters to Your Future Self," and all the information you can find out on America House social media platforms. You can follow them on Instagram, like their Facebook page. So it is actually a contest for young writers that are still in high school. It's an amazing opportunity to showcase your talent to the America House Chisinau team. So that was it. Please don't forget to tune in for more great events organized by our American Spaces in Moldova. I hope this was also distributed on America House Belt's Facebook page. We are experimenting with streaming on different platforms at the same time. So show us some love, leave a comment or show us a reaction, and we will see everybody next time. Bye bye.
Bye.